Hey there, everybody. This is Kristin from Teaching Balance, and I am back with another practice for you. So, if I haven't conveyed this enough in other emails and videos and things like that, happy summer. I am very happy, very excited. Summer is definitely a time of great joy for me. And I actually thought that would be a perfect theme for our practice today, which is joy. I know sometimes when you think about it, joy is often associated around the winter holidays, which is a good time to probably try to bring up and elicit some joy because, of course, those nights are long and those days are short. But I also think there's something to be said for really just allowing ourselves to bathe in the joy of summer, since obviously so many of us are educators and we do have this time off. So we'll be doing a typical 10-minute sit, but I guess the only real exception would be that I'm really just going to encourage you and invite you to try to bring up whatever joy is present for you in this moment. And some of you might be feeling like, well, what do I choose? It's everywhere. And some of you might actually be feeling maybe not as much for whatever reason, because of course that's just the way life is. But if you aren't feeling particularly joyful today or during this practice, that's okay. But just see if you can perhaps bring your mind some kind of element to be grateful for or joyful about, etc. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes. All right. And hopefully it's not going to be too long. Not too bad. So if you haven't, go ahead and close your eyes or lower your gaze. And allow yourself to just settle into this moment, dropping into your body, being in your body as fully as possible, in particular below the chin. And I would also invite you to take a few deep, cleansing belly breaths. That deep breathing, a great way to ground yourself and to help your body to naturally relax into this moment. And when you're ready, allowing your breathing to resume its natural rhythm. And of course, as always, the anchors that you can choose to rest your attention on are the breath, or the body, or sounds. So let's go ahead and just choose one of those to rest our attention on. If you choose to focus on the breath, seeing if you can hold that present moment awareness for just one breath cycle, just one. One inhale and one exhale. And if you can, perhaps seeing if you can do it for one more and one more. Paying special attention to that moment at the top of the inhale, just before the exhale, and at the bottom of the exhale, just before the inhale. And if you choose to listen to sounds, remembering that there's no ideal regarding what the sounds should be. It doesn't need to be wind chimes or soothing music. It's just those ambient, everyday sounds, some of which are more quiet. Perhaps you're breathing or your stomach growling if you're hungry. And some being sounds outside the room, maybe a train whistle or a car going by or the sound of a dog barking. Remembering there's no good sounds or bad sounds. They're all just sounds. And if you choose to focus your attention on the body, knowing you can hold your entire body in your awareness, feeling where your body is in space and where you end and the air begins. Or you can also just focus on one part, perhaps something like your hands or your face. And bringing to this, as we do to this entire meditation experience, a quality of curiosity and interest. Letting go of any judgment regarding how you want it to be, or whether it's good or bad. It just is. And allowing yourself to, in a sense, surrender to what is, and take a break from all of that evaluating and changing and fixing. And as you rest your attention on any of these anchors, of course, inevitably your mind will wander. It may have been wandering all over the place the entire time up till now, maybe more recently. And every time you just bring that attention back. And as a way to incorporate our theme of joy for this sit, perhaps whenever you notice that your mind has wandered, that you've gotten lost in thought, observe that thought and see if there's any joy in it. And if there is, perhaps sending a bit of gratitude and thankfulness for whatever joy is associated with that. Perhaps it's a good idea. Perhaps it's a pleasant memory. And if those thoughts don't necessarily elicit their own natural joy, allowing yourself to spin it and pivot from that thought just for a moment and seeing if there's something related or perhaps even the opposite of it if it's particularly challenging. And bring some joy to that alternative thought or image or idea, just for a moment, before you bring your attention back to the present moment. So let's sit in silence for a little bit. Again, when your mind wanders, seeing if you can bring that sense of joy, even if it's just joy for the fact that you noticed, joy about your ability to be mindful, and bringing to some degree as much joy as you can to the remainder of this practice. Noticing where the mind is right now. And if it's wandered, knowing that's always expected and understandable, letting go of any judgment, and once again bringing some of that joy, appreciation, and gratitude. Perhaps you can even feel that joy in your body. Feel it perhaps in a spaciousness in your heart, or an enthusiasm in your limbs, or perhaps just in a little bit of a smile in the eyes or the mouth. And as we conclude this short practice, take a moment, if you care to, just to set the intention to try to seek out and appreciate joy in the rest of your day. And that's 10 minutes. So thank you, as always, for your willingness to give this a try, for carving out the time for yourself. If you are on summer break like I am, you may be finding that the change in routine can make practice a little challenging. So one thing I would encourage you to do is, instead of just saying, it's summer, whatever, I don't need to worry about this or whatever, I would encourage you to maybe look for a different way or time to integrate practice into your life. Maybe the prompt of getting this email will do it for you. Maybe you'll notice that even though your mornings are different, now perhaps you can practice in the morning, whereas before you were less inclined to do so because you had to get up for school. Whatever that may be, just look for some of those triggers, behaviors that they're already doing, whether it's eating a meal or taking a shower or something else, and seeing if you can integrate that practice into either before or after those behaviors that you're already doing. So just a little piece of advice. I hope everybody's doing really well. And thank you so much for practicing with me. I'll see you next time. Bye.